Good morning, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. This is Rich again, back for your first video blog of the day for Friday, October 23rd, 2015, around 6:55 in the morning, Billerica, Massachusetts. Going to be a nice and sunny day, seasonably cool, about 54, 55 degrees, but that's a couple of degrees below where we should be this time of year, but it's not too cold or not too warm. Some news to report. Boston Celtics beat New York Knicks in preseason basketball by a score of 99-85. It's Happy Mole Day for chemistry people. So happy Mole Day. And Mexico is bracing for a monster hurricane. I mean, this is going to be a monster hurricane that hits Mexico later on today. Hurricane Patricia with winds of 200 miles per hour. That's the strongest hurricane in the history of the Western Hemisphere in the Eastern or Western Atlantic. 200 miles per hour. So this could be a catastrophic rainstorm hurricane that hits Western Mexico. So prayers to everybody in Mexico today. And that's about it on the news. My first video subject of the day is about my review of WCW Halloween Havoc 1993, the 5th annual Halloween Havoc that came from the Lakefront Arena in the Big Easy, New Orleans, Louisiana. The main event was Spin the Wheel, Make the Deal between Cactus Jack, Bang Bang, and Vader. It's time! It's time! It's Vader time! It was a Texas death match, or what they call today in the world of sports entertainment, a last standing match. Last man standing match. Plus there was other great matches on this pay-per-view card. No dark matches. Calling the action was Tony Schiavone and Jesse the Body Ventura. And here's what happened on the pay-per-view. The first match was a 6-man tag team match. It was the Shockmaster, Ice Train, and Charlie Norris facing off against Harlem Heat, Kane and Cole, and the Equalizer. And this was a okay match to start off the pay-per-view. The Shockmaster, Ice Train, and Charlie Norris won in about 10 minutes or so when Shockmaster gave Cole a bear hug and splashed him for 1, 2, 3. That was it. The next match was a singles match between Ricky the Dragon Steamboat facing Paul, Mr. Wonderful Orndorff, with the assassin in his corner. It was originally going to be Yoshi Kwan facing off against Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, but Yoshi Kwan got hurt. But that was just a storyline. Yoshi Kwan left WCW. And this was an 18-minute match between Mr. Wonderful and the Dragon. Back and forth action. It was about a 4-star match with 2 veterans of the reign. Ending of the match had the assassin interfered, and he put something in his mask, a weapon, a foreign object. He headbutts Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Referee wasn't looking. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat's out on the floor. Referee counts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Counts the Dragon out, so Paul, Mr. Wonderful Orndorff wins this match. The next match, it was for the WCW World Television Championship. It was Lord Steven Regal, who was at the time the WCW Television Champion, with Sir William in his corner, who was Bill Dundee, facing off against the British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith. And this was a classic 15-minute match and stuff for the television title. Action back and forth. Sir William interfered, but the British Bulldog knocked him out. Ending had Davey Boy Smith give the power slam to Lord Steven Regal, and the referee counts 1, 2, but the bell rings. 15-minute time limit expires. So British Bulldog, the match, couldn't win the WCW television title, so the match was a draw. Lord Steven Regal retains the title because titles don't change hands on draws. The next match was for the WCW United States Championship. It was the Natural Dustin Rhodes, who was at the time the WCW U.S. champion, facing off against Stunning Steve Austin. Another classic match. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. The action was hot and heaviest. Stunning Steve Austin actually won this match, and he thought he was a new U.S. champion, but he used his foot on the rope. A second referee saw that, and that was cheating, so they had to restart the match. And Dustin rolls Stunning Steve up for the 1, 2, 3. Another classic match. The next match was for the WCW World Tag Team Championship. It was Too Cold Scorpio and Marcus Alexander Bagwell who won the WCW World Tag Team Champions the night before on WCW Saturday Night on Superstation TBS. But actually that match was taped a few weeks prior. And they were with the Godfather, Teddy Long. Let me hear you play. He didn't say that night. Facing off against Knobs and Sags, the Nasty Boys, with the nastiest girl in WCW, the First Lady of Wrestling, Missy Hyatt. And this was another great tag team match. Ending had Too Cold Scorpio give Knobs the 450 splash, but like Sags was, hit like Scorpio because the referee was directed by Bagwell, and that gives the opening for Knobs to pin Scorpio for the 1, 2, 3, and the Nasty Boys become WCW World Tag Team champions for the second time. This was an awesome match. The next match was a grudge match. It was the Master, the Man, the ruler of the world, Psycho Sid Vicious, with Colonel Rob Parker facing off against the franchise of WCW, Sting. And this was another great match. Back and forth, back and forth. Ending had like Colonel Rob Parker interfere. He grabbed Sid Vicious' legs. He thought it was Sting, but that gave the advantage for Sting to roll up the man that rules the world for the 1, 2, 3. And afterwards, Sid Vicious gets mad, and he beats up Colonel Rob Parker. The next match was for the WCW International title. Originally, that was the NWA World title, but WCW dropped out of the NWA around September of 1993. It was Ravishing Rick Rude, who was the international champion, facing off against the Nature Boy, Ric Flair, woo, with Fifi and stuff. And they had 2 referees for this match. They had Terry Taylor and another referee and stuff. And another classic match. Ric Flair and Ravishing Rick Rude had great battles and stuff. I'm very surprised they didn't have a longer feud and stuff, because the match at Fall Brawl was a classic, and this match was a classic as well, and stuff like that. It was awesome. Ending of the match had Ric Flair use a foreign object on Ravishing Rick Rude, and then he gives Rude a figure 4 leg lock, and Rude's down. He's out of it. Terry Taylor counts 1, 2. A second referee sees what happens prior. He stops the count, disqualifies Ric Flair, and Ravishing Rick Rude retains WCW International title. And this was a great match, but like the screwing ending of the finish. And the main event was a spin the wheel, make the deal match. It was a Texas death match, which they call now a last man standing match between Cactus Jack, Bang Bang, and WCW World Champion Vader. The WCW World title was not on the line in this match because it was non-sanctioned by WCW. That's just a storyline and stuff like that. They would call it a lights out match. And Vader had in his corner the 7-time NWA World Champion Harley Race. And this was a great match. This culminated the feud between Cactus Jack and Vader, which started months prior when Vader gave Cactus Jack a power bomb on the concrete floor on a WCW television tape in, and then Cactus Jack had amnesia and stuff, and then some of the skits they had of Cactus Jack in Cleveland homeless and stuff with his shaved beard and stuff, and his, families coming down and saying they didn't even recognize him, with his wife and his son and stuff, even though his son in real life was like one, and his son, these were actors who played his family, because his wife and son in the acting were like actors, and they were much little older and stuff, because in real life Cactus Jack's wife was more attractive than the actress, and his son was only about 1.5 years old, and the son looked like he was maybe a kindergartner at this time. But those were funny skits. And this sixth death match on the Spin the Wheel, Make the Deal, and Halloween Havoc was very classic. Rules of a Texas death match: when you get pinned, you have 5 or 10 seconds to get up, and the match continues if you get up. But if you're knocked out cold, it ends right there. And it was a back and forth match. Cactus Jack won the first 2 falls because he pinned him outside and stuff, but Vader just got back up and continues to fight. They were fighting all over the place and stuff, and then then Vader won a couple of more times, and when Cactus Jack was getting up another time to face Vader again, Harley Race, Vader's manager, used a cattle plug and stuns Cactus Jack, and Cactus Jack cannot answer the 10 count, so Vader wins the match. And this was a classic brawl and stuff like that. Very surprised that WCW discontinued Spin the Wheel, Make the Deal after this Halloween Havoc, because it was a great concept and stuff. But you know who came to WCW in June of 1994, and then all of this stuff, what they had for Spin the Wheel, Make the Deal, was discontinued and stuff like that. And what did I think about this Halloween Havoc pay-per-view? A+. Solid matches. Some of these matches were classics and stuff, especially the Spin the Wheel, Make the Deal match, Ric Flair versus Rick Rude. Also, you get Dustin Rhodes and Steve Austin, and the TV title match was stupendous and stuff. So an A+. And tomorrow I'm going to review WCW Halloween Havoc 1994, which is a train wreck. And I'll see you later. 2 more video blogs. One will be out the former Metrodome, where the Minnesota Vikings and Minnesota Twins played. And the third and final video blog of the night, the last personality profile of the month before it goes on a vacation for a week, is former Major League Baseball player Joe Carter. Like I always say, everybody, keep calm. And I'm a Julie Broughton guy. Julie Broughton's new 6. She rocks. It has very nice legs. Molly Roosevelt of Fox 35 is awesome. Elizabeth Hart, so stunning. And in the words of Sean Lucha, get out. See you later.